what to expect in a Chiefs-Patriots rematch in the AFC Championship. My name is Mike Petraglia inside Gillette Stadium alongside Evan Lazar and Alex Barth. This Patriots Report brought to you by the great folks at 1-in-100. Go to 1in100.co now and register for your chance to win in a raffle killer Celtics and Bruins tickets, as well as a chance to win in a raffle tickets to next week's AFC Championship tilt between the Patriots and Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium. Again, go to 1in100.co and register now. All right. We saw an epic contest between the Kansas City Chiefs and the New England Patriots here on Game of the Year, October 14th on a Sunday night, with the Red Sox playing a playoff game 24 miles to the north, and all of the attention was focused football-wise down here at Gillette Stadium, and they did not disappoint. 43-40, Patriots winning it on the last-second field goal from Stephen Gostkowski. So much to discuss, but first of all, how are the Patriots going to defend Patrick Mahomes the way he has played at an MVP level all year, differently than they played him in the second half? Evan.
Well, the first half, they did a really nice job against Patrick Mahomes, and they kind of disrupted him by getting after him, right? Remember, that was kind of the first edition of the cover zero blitzes, where they were taking the safety out of the middle of the field, and they were bringing him into the box, and they were blitzing different guys from different angles, and it threw off Patrick Mahomes. It threw off the Kansas City offensive line. In the second half, I thought that they got a little bit too basic, and they went to some spot drop zone, some cover three, and Andy Reid just dialed up the cover three beaters, the single high beaters, just like the Patriots did to the Chargers today, and we saw the big touchdowns to Tyreek, the long one to Kareem Hunt. Thank God they don't have to play him again. Right. And they have stuff like that happens when you kind of get a little bit too basic against a team like the Chiefs that have such great playmakers, that you're not going to be able to just win one-on-one matchups and just go out there and cover everybody one-on-one on an island. So I think for the Patriots this time around, they're going to have to keep it complex on the defensive side of the ball, both in the pass rush and in the secondary all game long. I really hope that Bill Belichick dusts off a pattern match coverage again, which is something I wrote about back then. They didn't use it as much as I thought they were going to. That's an old Belichick-Saban trick from the 90s to kind of beat some of these cover three beaters that you see in the NFL. That, I think, is kind of the most successful thing I've seen all year against Kansas City. I
tell you what, Alex, the guy that concerns me offensively, Tyreek Hill, his speed just chewed up the Indianapolis Colts defense in the first half. How do you think the Patriots go about trying to contain him?
Well, it's got to be something different, right, than what they did last time out. I think he's going to get a lot of the coverage designated to him. Like Evan mentioned, Hunt's now out of the picture, so that clears things up a little bit. You still have to worry about the running back, but maybe not in the same way. He's going to have a corner on him. Probably won't be Gilmore. He's had trouble with those quicker receivers. My guess would be J.C. Jackson right now. We still have a week to think about that. And there's got to be safety help over the top. You have to dedicate at least two defenders, if not more, to him on every single play, because we've seen, even when the Patriots think they have defenses schemed for him, he somehow is able to take the top off. He needs to be the majority of the focus, not Mahomes, not Kelsey. None of last time out, they let Travis Kelsey beat them, and that was fine. Tyreek Hill needs to be the focus of the coverage.
Okay, that's interesting, because here on Sunday against the Chargers, the Patriots, and Devin McCourty spoke about this after the game, their intent was to take away the running game of the LA Chargers. They did that. That probably would not be the case, right, with Kareem Hunt out of the picture now this time around, Evan.
Well, I think the biggest thing for the Patriots here today was they got out to a lead and they were able to stop the run. And when you do those two things, Bill Belichick always says, then the offense of the opposing team comes one-dimensional. You know they're going to have to throw the football. When you're down a couple touchdowns, like the Chargers were today for most of this game, they knew that they were going to throw, and that allows you to kind of get the pass rush going, get the scheme going with the pass rush, but also allows those guys to pin their ears back and just get after the quarterback. So stopping the run for a lot of NFL coaches, the stat geeks and the coaches kind of butt heads on this one. But stopping the run has a lot to do with getting out to a lead early in the game. So they don't let the other team dictate you. And then when you have when you play from behind and you don't stop the run, now they can do everything. They can throw, they can run, and you're kind of on your heels defensively. When you can set the tone and kind of set the parameters of the game, that's when the Patriots are at their best. So I think that that's what they're going to have to try to do against Kansas City again. And to that point, don't be surprised if they take the opening kickoff like they did here today if they win the coin toss.
Okay, let's talk about the Kansas City defense, because it's very interesting and I think appropriate that Kansas City's defense is regarded like the Patriots' defense. It doesn't travel well.
Yeah.
So the Chiefs have the benefit, the obvious benefit of playing at home in front of their crowd and trying to disrupt Tom Brady and maybe draw a couple of false starts or what have you. That'll be something interesting to look for throughout Sunday's AFC Championship game. But talk to us, Evan, about Kansas City's pass rush and how effective they were against the Colts.
Well, I think that's where it starts, right? The Colts offensive line, we heard all about it. Quentin Nelson, as a rookie, gets named the first-team All-Pro. That's kind of where all the praise is going besides Andrew Luck for that Indianapolis team. And then what happens, the Chiefs kind of turn the tables on them. Justin Houston, Chris Jones, those guys really won that game for the Chiefs on the defensive side of the ball. I thought that what they did in the secondary in that game against Indianapolis had a lot to do with the fact that the Colts receivers could not cut on the field that was covered in snow and mud. So I think that was a big part of the reason why they couldn't win down the field. But at the line of scrimmage, they dominated the Colts offensive line that coming into that game, a lot of people were saying was the best offensive line in football.
So, Alex, I want to ask you about the last drive of the first half for the Indianapolis Colts and whether or not the way Andrew Luck was able to go down the field, no huddle, hurry up, if that's something we might see the Patriots show a little bit more early in the AFC Championship game to get their rhythm going and maybe catch the Chiefs off guard early in the game.
So I think it's something they should do. But how many times this year have we been watching this team and saying, why aren't they going tempo? Why aren't they going tempo? And for one reason or another, they don't do it. I'd like to think they break the trend this week. It would certainly help them in Kansas City, I think, to get up tempo, get that defense off their rhythm. But we'll see, because they've been adverse to it this year at times.
All right, Evan, your thoughts on that?
I worry about going up tempo because I don't want to get into a track meet with Patrick Mahomes. And if you're going up tempo, then you're putting your defense back on the field quickly a lot of the time.
Well, wouldn't you trade that for scoring?
Do you want to get into a 50-50 shootout?
I would, but
you do.
I mean, Evan,
on the road,
if you get ahead of Kansas City early in this game and you can score once or twice early in the game, I think it's worth it.
I think it's much more important for the Patriots to run the ball. The Chiefs' defense has been terrible against the run all year long. That's how the Patriots beat them the first time around, was by running the football.
All right.
The tempo thing I understand, but that plays right into the Chiefs' hands. They want to make it a track meet. They're the Golden State Warriors of football. They want to do that. They want to be high flying.
We've seen the Patriots at times, not necessarily this year, but in the past, they've gone to this technique where they'll run the play, run up quick to the line, and then use most of the play clock, and every once in a while snap it quick to keep the defense off guard. You don't necessarily
and the personnel on the field.
You don't necessarily have to be snapping the ball every 20 seconds, but not huddling, getting to the line, keeping the Chiefs off guard, something like that at the very least. Like Treg said, keeps that base or whatever defensive personnel on the field that you want.
I just don't want to get into a situation, if I'm the Patriots, where Patrick Mahomes has 14 or 15 drives in that game. Because if he has 14 or 15 drives against this defense, he's scoring 50 points. Whether you stop him or not, whether you force turnovers or not, go watch them play the LA Rams. That game was a track meet the entire game, and he scored 50 points in that game. He scored 40 in this game, despite them really shutting them down in the first half of that game. So I really don't think that they want to get into a track meet with a team that is undoubtedly faster than they are at the skill position
But again, it doesn't have to be a track meet, but just to dictate the tempo, again, going no huddle, keeping the clock on their side. Yeah, just that sort of back and forth.
I could see it. I just don't. If I'm the Patriots, I want to limit to Patrick Mahomes to as few drives as possible, because you know that he's going to hit a few big plays. You know Tyreek Hill is going to go for a few big plays in that game. You know that Travis Kelce is going to be a problem. If I'm the Patriots, I would like to keep Mahomes around 8 to 10 drives total for that game, so that then, you know what, if they go 50% touchdowns on those, they're still only scoring 35 points, and you give yourself a chance.
Well, it is a matchup, a rematch of a game in October that pretty much everybody wanted to see for the AFC Championship.
Can I give you one quick stat on rematches?
Yes, please do.
So the Patriots in non-rematch playoff games are now 16-1 after beating the Chargers. The only loss that they've had in the Brady era in non-rematch games was the Super Bowl last year. In rematch games where they played the team in the regular season, they're 12-9. A lot of those losses that Brady's had throughout his career have been when they are going up against a team that they're seeing for the second or third time in a season. They're going to have to do something different than what they used to do against those rematch games.
That will be interesting to follow. We'll have you covered all week long, and of course out in Kansas City at Arrowhead Stadium. Follow us on Twitter at Patriots CLNS. This Patriots Report brought to you by the great folks at 1-in-100. Go to 1in100.co now and register for your chance to win in a raffle killer Celtics and Bruins tickets, as well as your chance to win tickets to next week's AFC Championship game at Arrowhead Arrowhead Stadium between the Patriots and Chiefs. Inside Gillette Stadium, for Evan Lazar and Alex Barth, I'm Mike Petraglia, CLNS Media.